He wakes me up around 5 a.m. Kicking and screaming until his face turns red. He usually tends to calm down once he's fed. So I give him his bottle. My wife gets out of bed. Cook my wife breakfast while she's getting ready. Uh-oh, someone's diaper is smelly. Uh-oh, it leaked all over his belly. Uh-oh, it looks like mustard and jelly. Kiss my wife goodbye while I clean up.
I love it, man. That shout out to John LaHoje, I think that's how you say it, for that song, Stay at Home Dad, man. That's I haven't listened to too much of that at all, but that was interesting. Something smelly looks like mustard and jelly. Oh, that's bad, man.
I played it for the kids the other day in the car.
What were their initial thoughts?
Lily was tuned out and Sawyer was kind of like indifferent. And then he's like, hey, Dad, play Eric Church. So he was all right for a minute.
He's all right for a minute. Well, what up, though? Welcome to the RB Stay at Home Dad podcast. I am your host, Jason, along with my illustrious co-host, Chris.
That's right. And as always, this isn't the view, damn it. This is the dad's point of view. Jason has 3 kids. I have 2. Together, that's 5. And while the moms work, we keep them alive. In doing so, we get funny stories, dilemmas, problems, lessons, confusion, all that stuff. We're here to share them with you, learn from them, grow, whatever it is. This is episode 11. Episode 10, I think, was probably our best. Those listening live, thank you for listening live. If you want to go back and listen to the past episodes, Jason, do the homework, the housekeeping. How do they do that?
You already know, man. Look, you guys, you need to go ahead and follow us on all platforms. We are on Facebook as RB Stay at Home Dads podcast. You can catch us anywhere on TikTok as well as Twitter with RBSAHD. What's so awesome is on TikTok, Chris put up a dope video. I laughed my ass off with the sweater around the neck. He's like, I'm solo parenting this weekend.
That one.
I got this with no sweat. And then he turns off and shows 2 classic videos of Sawyer and Lily. And he turns back and says, I got this. Oh, is the liquor store still open? So catch us on all platforms, man. TikTok and Twitter at RBSAHD. And even catch us on all streaming platforms for your podcasting delight. So if you're on iTunes, Amazon, or even iHeartRadio, you're able to catch us on all of those platforms and stream us over and over and over again, or even just catch up with us and see what we've been up to. So make sure you go ahead and do that 100%. So we appreciate you all day, every day. Man, how are you holding up though, Chris?
I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna lie. I've switched my ways a little bit. We're mid-October now, so summer schedule's over. I set myself an alarm, so I'm getting up earlier. I'm being a lot more I don't want to say responsible, but I'm getting up about an hour earlier and still having a hard time going to bed earlier. But I'm here. How about you, man? You said you dozed off during the game.
Oh, man. So I was watching the Tampa Bay and Eagles game, and I have Jalen Hurts as one of my quarterbacks. So I'm just watching them, and I felt some kind of way because I'm like, I want them to win because it's Tom Brady. Tom Brady needs to lose. I don't care anymore. Let Tom Brady lose.
Yep.
But nonetheless, man, I dozed off. I am tired too, and you're right on track what I was thinking and having this morning. I need to go to bed. I need some good sleep. I need to be waking up with the early to get the girls ready for school and just having the day start fresh. But I'm also having issues going to bed early as well. So I think right after this, I'm going straight to the pillows because it's gonna be nice and cool. Yeah, I'm ready for it. We got the window. I had the window cracked just a little bit. Like, I need to go to bed early at the end of the day. Facts. So I'm good, man. I'm a little tired too, but I'm excited to get sleep. That's all.
What's it like in your household? Who's the night owls? Who's the early morning risers?
So there's really no night out. The only one that's a night out is myself. I'm the one that's out here. I'm basically vampire mode. Forget a night owl. I'm doing vampire modes. And everyone else is early bird, like early risers, and they all go to bed early. Our girls are still on the bedtime. Well, I mean, not still, but they're on the bedtime. They're in bed at least 7:38. By then, I'm headed to Katie's headed to bed probably 8:39, depending on, you know what I'm saying, how exhausted she is. And then after that, I branch my me time, my, my priorities and duties of podcasting. And then after that, I'm like, I could pull off an episode here or there. And now I'm up for another 2 hours. And before I know it, I'm staring down the barrel of 2:30. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. 2:30. I do the ancient young adult, not responsible countdown. Like, okay, if it's 2:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, okay, 6:30. I got about 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And
Jeez.
man, it's not
Are
it's
you
not healthy at
groggy
all.
are you groggy in the morning then? Do you take a nap when like Margot naps or
100% I'm groggy, but I'm not taking naps. I need to. I wanted to. Today I wanted to, but that's also my time to get stuff done. I'm doing laundry, washing clothes, picking up after what they didn't destroyed in the morning. So I'm doing all of those things, and that's where I kind of want to give myself a break and say, you know what, you deserve to go to sleep or take this nap because of X, Y, and Z. But then again, I go, well, you're the reason why you were up late, so you don't get that treatment, that presidential treatment, right? You don't get to take that nap, right? You got shit to do.
in my house, Sawyer is the early bird. He's like he's up 6:30, 7 o'clock, and not only is he up, he gets up, he comes out in his Captain Underpants, comes out, and you can hear he asks Alexa what's the weather, and he looks around, makes sure no one else is up, makes sure that he won the championship belt. He woke up the first. And then he gets dressed, makes his bed, and he's ready to go. And then he'll put on his iPad and start watching highlights. And I have to set an alarm or get shaken pretty hard to wake up. And then my wife, Jackie, she'd go to bed at 9 p.m. and wake up at 9 a.m. every day. She could sleep.
That's crazy.
And then Lil just doesn't want to go to sleep. And then she's just kind of she's not the funnest person in the morning. She's not a morning person. She's kind of like her dad. And so when she has issues, I have a tough sleeper. So when she has issues falling asleep and I kind of get cranky, Jackie just looks at me like, look at you.
Oh, right. Look at you. That's all you right there.
Yeah, that is me. So it's an interesting dynamic in our house. Cause I could operate 6 hours of sleep or 8, 9 hours of sleep, but I can't go to bed early.
Like Hazel in our household is that early riser. You know what I mean? Hold on. All right, there we go. Hazel's the early riser in our family, and she's up almost the same time when Katie's up. So Katie's up 5:30. Right? It's ridiculous.
Well, I suppose she's going to bed at 8:39. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, because she works at 6, 6:30. So she's up 5:30 to walk the dog. And then sometimes Hazel's up at that same time to kind of like, why are you up so early, Hazel? And she's just like, I don't know. I'm ready to go. So she kind of does that same thing. And I've taken advantage of it, and I feel kind of bad because I know how responsible she is, and nothing's going on crazy, right? But I'm here and I'm coherent, but I'm still like, I'm not up. And she's the one holding down her sisters and kicking in and watching cartoons in the morning.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, now I've had enough of it, so I got to switch that up and make sure that I'm there for all of them, but not only that, relieve some of the pressures that it may be for for Hazel. You know what I mean? Because all they're doing is, once again, that's where the granola bars come in. They come in and ask me for a granola bar, or they come in and ask me to eat some cereal. Hazel can make cereal for everybody. I mean, you're pouring a bowl of cereal, right?
Right.
And so for me, I'm like, I need to do just a tad bit better, Jay. Come on and get out of that slump, man.
I mean, for me, that's exactly what it was. I don't want to call it a slump. It was, for me, it was the summertime where it was like letting it rip. Like kids are staying up later, and Jack's working from home 3 days a week, and so if they're going to bed at 9:30, 10, I need an hour and a half, 2 hours to myself, or Jack and I do something. So I'm going to bed at 12:30, 1. And they don't need anything right away in the morning. They're getting up at 7:30, 8. So I'm rolling out of bed at 8:39, and then Jackie was saying to me a couple weeks ago, she's like, hey, Sawyer is the first one up, and like sometimes I go down there and he's either eating something or he's asking me to make him something, and he's eating breakfast by himself. We should get up, or you should get up, and I'm like, yeah, I should, but like But then now I'm the first one up and I'm doing things, and then I'm like, hey, but you need something. He's like, no, I'm good. I just want to wake up and see the highlights from last night. I'm like,
it's like, where's my morning cocoa?
He's like, he's like, I want to be by myself. Like, just leave me alone.
This is my me time. Yeah, go back to sleep. I got
so you mentioned my TikTok. I thought you said my awesome TikTok. I thought you were gonna say the one about me recording Sawyer's live reaction because we were at the game. His live reaction.
Yeah, that was great. No, that was good. I was going to get there.
Let's go!
I was going to get there. Yeah, I was going to get there.
All right. So you took the over on Lily, right? I remember I said over under Lily asking to leave. She didn't ask to leave once. She asked how much more time. She didn't ask to leave one time. She took it in. She loved the stadium, the cheerleaders. She's dancing. Football was okay, and she's cheering the Vikings, and then the bubbles come out. But Sawyer looks at me in the third quarter, and he goes, hey, Dad, can we leave like 5 minutes in the fourth quarter? I said, why? He goes, what time does the Cardinals game start?
Yeah.
He's DeAndre Hopkins for Halloween, and he's got Hopkins and Kyler Murray in his fantasy team. He goes, what time? And I said, 3:25. Why? He's like, we should go home so we can watch Red Zone.
I want to be ready.
We should not. And I said, we're here at the game. Enjoy the game, buddy. He's like, okay. At the time, the Vikings were up, 16-6? And then he goes to me in the fourth quarter. He's like, hey, Dad, can we leave? All right, 3 minutes? I said, no. He said, all right, 2-minute warning. Let's go. And I said, so you mean to tell me that if the Vikings are up by 7 and the Lions got the ball and they're driving the score, you want to leave? He's like, yeah. I'm like,
he already figures they're going to win. They're going to win it.
He's like, Dad, I gotta watch the Red Zone. And I'm like, dude, live in now, like experience. And then when the Lions scored, when Swift scored and they got the 2-point conversion, he's like, ah. And then he was like, oh, we ain't going anywhere. I'm like, see, you do not leave a game early. So,
especially one of those games.
Oh, especially with the Lions. I mean, after they got the 2-point conversion, I was screaming for it and cheering for it. All the Vikings fans, I was like, "Hey, cheer up!" And I actually texted you, "It's the Lions." Like, I was like, "Cheer up! Yeah. You guys are gonna win. You guys just calm down. Just give us a chance to blow it." So, shout out to all the Minnesota Vikings fans that were there. You guys were awesome. There was one guy who was kind of but you guys are cool. I got a couple people. There's one guy who was like the cheerleader, like 5 rows up, trying to get sections together, and he's cheering them, trying to say, "Hey, gonna stop, blah blah." And then when the Lions scored the touchdown, I stood up and started cheering in my Barry Sanders jersey, saying, "Go for 2, let's get this." Turns around, he says, "Hey, Sanders, shut up and sit down." And he goes,
"Oh, come on now."
Then he goes, "Whoops, I didn't see your kids there. Sorry." And he turned around. And then one guy pulled me aside and said, "Hey, it's my kids were in Vikings shit." And he goes, "Hey, good to see you're raising your kids right." And another guy told Lil, "Hey, your dad's wearing a good jersey." And he's like, "Hey, are the Vikings fans treating you nice?" And so shout out to the Minnesota Vikings fan. It was just dad out with his kids having a good time. They had a great time. They loved the stadium. So thank y'all.
That's awesome, man. I might have to take mine to one. Hazel's been asking to get a Green Bay dress. She's like, Dad, can you give me a Green Bay dress? So I'm watching football with her, and hopefully she can gravitate to it a little bit more. But I think she really watches it because I watch it, that kind of thing. Now the thing is she's starting basketball, so we got her in. Yeah, speaking of that, I'm gonna need to get the passcode to Rad Bad Sad TikTok so I can upload, our side of the world of TikToking. You know what I mean?
We got to get a new one. We got to get one for the podcast. That one was mine. I mean, because that was my Twitter name before.
That is correct.
Before me were a we. So I've been slouching on my technology such. So I got to create a new one for the group.
No, say less. So when we get that, send that over so we can merge the two the two worlds. But she's in basketball, man, loving she did her first game, not game, but like her first practice-ish type of play around, just getting used to what basketball is like, learning how to dribble, learning how to shoot, learning how to pass, all those little things. So I'm excited. But no, I want to take her to a game. It just sucks that, Packers Viking game is almost $200 even for nosebleeds compared to a $60 ticket maybe for, a Lions and Vikings game. You know what I mean?
What? I mean, we were blessed. My dad got tickets through his work, and it was kind of a last minute thing. And like I said, Jackie was out of town, and I was talking with Lil because she didn't want to go, but she did want to go. And it was one of those, if she didn't go, she'd complain that she wasn't going. And if she did go, she'd complain about going. And so we sold it to them like, hey, these are, by the way, they were kick-ass seats. They're 40-yard lines, 30 rows up. So we were explaining like, this is a treat, and I told them, you're going to go once, you might not go again. I was telling Sawyer, like, this is special. We can probably go again, but we ain't sitting here at club level.
Right, exactly. We're not down here in the.
We're going up there with oxygen tanks. Like we're like just woosah, and so it was a treat for us. But I'm glad they got to experience it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So the weekend was pretty dope. We had fun. I've nothing really to phone home about with the children, but I do have a question for you, right? To kind of travel down. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she has a friend of hers that is a single father, and he's a working single father, or a working father, I should put it in that terms. And she had told me that he was on some show or some podcast, and they were speaking to the thoughts of what does life look like after, like, empty nest style, right? So I think if anyone knows what an empty nester is, that's basically when all your children finally leave the house and it's just you and your spouse. So I asked that question. I want to ask you that question, Chris. What happens when you empty nest? What do you rely on? What do you have next after, let's say, what is this, 10, 12 years?
I'm going to start sleeping naked again.
Oh, I just give an applause for that one because I'm in the same boat, man. Yes, Lord.
No, I mean, it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be sad, and it's the unknown, right?
Unknown, yeah.
I can't wait, but at the same point, I know I'm going to be sad because, like I said, I made the joke when Jackie and I took our vacation 2 months ago. I think I said, turns out we still like each other. Like, and that is 100%. It's a joke, but like, you go through phases, I think, with raising kids and things. There's periods where you're coasting and things are great, and then all of a sudden you hit like, you're going through a rough patch with the kids, and unless you're like the best parents ever, wear a badge of honor, you're gonna have issues, right? And
all day,
right. And so I think when they're gone, I mean, I'm gonna miss them and wish they were here, and kick myself for the times that I decided to not spend that extra moment with them when I could have. But at the same point, I'm going to be happy to have my independence and focus on us. And I know I'm already excited to one day be a grandparent, because
I wish too soon for that.
no, but I'm just saying, because I regret, I don't want to say regret, but I didn't know what I was doing when especially Soy, when he was that age, and then when Lil, he was an infant, and then he was a tough infant, and then when Lil was an infant, I had Sawyer at 2, who was a crazy toddler, and so I knew more what I was doing with her, but I was still learning to deal with him and her, and so I didn't get to soak it all in. Like it just flew by. I was stuck in the moment, and I didn't. I was just looking forward, just getting through the moment as opposed to enjoying it, and so that's why I want to be a grandparent, because plus at the end of the day, I was like, all right, here's your kid. I'm going to sleep.
To go home, right?
So I don't know, because again, I don't have a job. And so I'm sure I'll have one by then.
You have one by then, right.
Job or career by then. I don't know. I like to think that I'm close with my kids beyond being their dad. I am their friend. There is a line.
Right.
There is a line. Dad first, friend second. I think that I have a great relationship with both my kids. I'm open and I'm really honest with them. They hate me sometimes, which is good, which just means I'm doing my job.
I agree.
But
I agree.
I think that I will be texting my kids or catching up with my kids almost on a daily basis. When they're at college, I'm going to be taking them out to lunch or dinner once a week. So and I will be fishing. I'll be spoiling Lil. Where are you at? What do you think? I mean, it's kind of early in the game to be thinking about being an empty nester.
Right. It's real early in the game for me, man. I don't know if I'm ready to think about that.
You're at least 17 years away.
That part. I'm right. Exactly. I'm 17, 18 years away from that. I think in the time that it takes to get to the point where we're empty nesting, I would have built something in that meantime. I get the awesome time to spend with them day in and day out and help them develop into, reasonable, responsible, loving, caring adults. And at the same time, I kind of get to work on my own too. Not only that, I get to bring them in on what I believe to be something left for them, right? So Quinn loves to talk. Maybe she takes over all these podcasts at some point, right? These are all businesses to me. I have another business in the mind coming up. So whether it's my clothing line or whether it's the dry bar, right? Those are all something that could be left for them. So maybe they indulge and go down that path. But when they leave, when they get out of here, I am changing my locks. I agree with you. I am sleeping butt booty naked. And I'm looking at their mama like, yo, this our place now. I mean, I got no children to worry about, right? And just enjoy that sound. But with as much land that we have, not land like that, but with the yard that we have and some of the things that we're looking to do later in life, I think, jacuzzi sets up, patios in the back, those type of things. I really get to enjoy my home like it's my home instead of it being Lego here, Barbie head there. You know what I mean? So I kind of have that, independence of a parent.
Hey man, I'm 5 years ahead of you, because you got there's no Lego Barbie heads anymore. Remember, I talked to you about my purge. The mess right now is in Lily's room. That's where the mess is, and I deal. You're a slob, Lil. This is bad.
This is bad.
But I'm also this is where my wife and I differ. Is I will not clean up their rooms. Period. Word. this is your room, this is your mess. Where is this? I'm like, I don't know. Like, if you really cared about it, you wouldn't just throw it into the abyss and whatever. But so I'm different. I'm 5 years ahead of you there because we're pretty clean here. Like
I
I
love
can,
it. I want that, man. I want
yeah.
that. I want at least not necessarily like spick and span, but I don't want toys on the floor anymore.
Oh, I'm walk like a man, fast as you can. Like there ain't nothing I'm tripping on anymore. Like there's no Scuba Steve, damn you. Like
Oh
I'm golden.
man.
I don't know. I'm emptying and emptying. I really look forward to it, and I realized this when they went off to school again this year. And then Jackie's home Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I realized Tuesday, Thursday, when I have the house to myself, I just mean when I'm on my own and I'm getting things done. I'm not just sitting here, hey, I'm just gonna sit back here and do a
Kick
marathon
up the
of
feet. Yeah,
yeah, no, I
exactly.
don't do that. But like when
Shout out to
I'm
Alex. What up, though, Alex?
yes, I don't I enjoy being like the quiet of my blaring headphones and doing what I want to do. But I don't know. We're gonna miss them when they're gone. I mean, it's a double. It's always gonna be a double-edged sword.
That part. It 100% will be. And I feel like when they do leave, I'm gonna be that pestering dad. Like, so can I come visit you? Where are you? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's all go on a vacation. You know what I'm saying? Bring your pops with you. I'm a cool dad.
It's on me.
Right? That part. Like,
no, I already think that when they're in college, hey, pick a time that works for you, and I'll take you out to a nice dinner. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And by the way, when we go out to dinner afterwards, we're going to the grocery store, and I'll fill your beer fridge up with whatever you want. Not beer, if they're saying like I'll get you some groceries and stuff. And I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to be. Like you mentioned with your yard and stuff, you think you're going to be living there in 15 years? I mean, who knows?
I mean, who knows? That is true. I mean, unless we hit the lottery, we don't plan to go nowhere. I mean, because this is plenty for us. We love it. We're not going to be adding another name or, you know what I'm saying, name or number to this right here. So it's enough space for all of us. You know what I mean? So that's something I can really look into. I'll look forward to. I just really hope that they don't want to stay. Like as of right now, Hazel's like,
I don't want you to leave, but I want you to not be here anymore.
Hazel's like, I'm never going anywhere. I'm living here forever. I'm like, no, you're not.
Jay,
Katie's like, you can stay here as long as you want to.
If we're doing this show in 14 years, I guarantee you that's a fight between Jack and me of me saying like, no, they need to, like he's 23, like he needs to at least pay rent or
that part.
Do something. But I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, I'm excited for the thought of Jack and I not focusing, but Jack and I being just her and I for I guess 90% of our free time. But at the same point, I'm gonna miss them. I mean, they drive me nuts and little things that I shouldn't get upset about. I mean, would you get upset about this? Like I was just thinking about this. The other day made fajitas and I made homemade fajita seasoning and I put it in a nice little Tupperware. You put the Tupperware on top of our sink has like our kitchen kind of opens up to the living room and there's it's like a circular vanity type deal. Put it right on there. And I'm cooking and I'm making dinner and then Lily, Little Miss Shiny Objects, comes over and she grabs a fajita mix and she kind of pops the top and kind of shakes it a little bit so some of it mixes. And I snap, like, what do you, no, like, you don't just grab things that aren't yours and start shaking it up. And she, like, looks at me and she's like, fine, I won't. Plays a victim. I'm like, no, don't be sad. Like, that isn't yours. You picked it up and you shook it. You didn't ask. It's like, Lenny, knock it off. Now, do I overreact or do you get, like, do your kids do that stupid shit too?
Yes, 100%.
Margot doesn't count.
Margot does not count. And I was going to only go for Either Quinn or Hazel.
Right.
Hazel knows better. She ain't in there. So guess who's left? Quinn. That's right. I'm calling you out right now. You can't defend yourself because you sleeping.
Shiny objects.
Shiny objects. But nonetheless, they do that as well. And I like to say inside of myself, which battle am I picking? Am I about to go ham, or am I just gonna be like, get out the kitchen, go somewhere else, go outside? 9 times out of 10, and then from church, we learn about power tools in these kind of reactions. Do you use the Phillips screwdriver, just a self little doo 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 doo, or do you go in for the, you know what I'm saying, the big dog? Zzz, 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 zzz. I am half of the time pulling out the big dog, and I'm going ham. And I always forget that I am 6'3", 300 and some pounds over this 3 foot or 2'9" person that is just looking up in terror, like, oh my gosh. Exactly. So,
totally kindergarten cop.
So there's several times that I have to go ahead and like pull back, apologize, and start with a new tactic. And at the end of the day, it's the learning lesson. Like, well, you shouldn't be in here grabbing and doing this. Like, why? Like, I don't know. And that's their favorite answer. And I think that's every kid that is up to the age 9 favorite answer is, I don't know. I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Explain to me why you don't know.
I get, like, I know, like, she can't help herself and it's urges and stuff, and just boom. Like, we're playing, she's getting over a cough and we're playing Go Fish, and we're playing Pop the Pig. You ever play Pop the Pig?
Never even heard of it.
Oh, good for you. Your life is good. Pop the Pig it's like it's this pig, and you roll a dice, and it's one of 4 colors, and you pick the colors, and there's 4 dice for each color, and whatever that number is, it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's how many times you put the dice in, and you put the cookie in, and you pop the top of the pig that many times. 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? And whoever makes the pig explode, they win. They win. You win.
Okay.
She takes a dice and starts putting it in her mouth, and I'm like, why would why would you put that in her mouth? Like, you're getting over a cough. I just snapped. Like, there's no grace. Like, sweetie, put that out of your mouth. And because I was like, no, you're getting over a cough. You put it in your mouth. 1, you shouldn't do that. 2, that's disgusting. Not to sanitize it. Blah blah. And then she's like, fine, I don't want to play. Blah. I'm like, you know what? I overreacted. But at the same point, how many times have we had this damn discussion?
Man.
Don't put things in your mouth. You don't grab things that aren't yours and shake them up. And, oh, what's in this? Oh, that was dinner. Like,
so that's the same thing for Quinn, right? I tell her, don't put these toys in your mouth. And now she's playing with her older sister. So what that means is she's playing with Legos that are, the size of a little, I don't even have something that I could pull up that, just extremely small, like small little, little Lego stuff like that, And it's possible, like, if you put this in your mouth or anywhere in that area, you could choke on this. Guess what she's doing? She's got a little Lego and she's trying to get them off. She's using her teeth to pull the small little fractional Lego off. And guess what happens? She chokes on one. One goes right down her throat. And she's terrified at this point, but the Lego is so small, it's just going to go down. You know what I mean? But it just feels funny in her throat. So she's spazzing out. So what do? I'm like, do I go, champion level, I told you so?
Right.
Or do we just slowly walk through this and calm her down and then really have that conversation again? Like, this is why you cannot do that. Like, this is not something that is okay at all.
Right.
And I found that to be the similar. While I didn't get to the point of talking to her about germs and being sick and you guys touching this and all of that stuff. we walk down the, like, this is not, you now can see what will happen. You can choke and you can hurt yourself. But there's been ample of times where I tell them, okay, and here's how I can correlate with what you're going through. My girls like to hold on to the remote while they watch TV. Why? So now not only are you sitting there indulged in television, they're putting the remote in their mouth. Like, why do you have the remote in your mouth that we got to touch, that we've been touching? That could be dirty. That can get you sick. But let alone you lose it in the couch, or you take it to the bathroom, or it's in your room. Why?
Maybe the remote's in their mouth that change the channel in their brain and not put things in their mouth.
I need to program them a bit different then. That's what it is.
Speaking of remotes, I'm in a war with Sawyer now with the 3 TVs down here. Is I go to start putting my things on. He's like, no, Dad, put on this game. And I'm like, dude, that's like Navy versus Coastal Carolina. No, I'm putting on the playoff baseball game. He's like, no, Dad, we got the pro football game, the hockey game, and then we want to put on the college game. And I'm like, first off, you're gonna be looking at the football game in your iPad. Second off, but you're going to bed in 20 minutes. And it was really funny because I'm gonna be gone. I'm going somewhere this weekend on Saturday night, and I'm taking the Fire Stick with me. And I broached the subject with Sawyer tonight, and I was saying, hey, Saturday I'm gonna be gone, and I'm taking the Fire Stick with me. I'm taking the TV because I'm gonna be staying at Jake's house, and he needs an extra TV and the Fire Stick to watch some games Saturday night.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, that's fine. I'll be back here on Sunday. And I said, en contraire, mon frère, there's no confirmed time of Daddy's returnage on Sunday.
It is.
And then he's like, and he's like going nuts. Like, I need my 3 TVs.
I need all 3 of them.
Right? And I was like, hey man, if you want, just have Mom carry your TV, because he's got his TV. I said, hey, Mom, carry your TV, put it on the TV stand downstairs, and there's your 3rd TV. He's like, no, it's. He's like, Dad, our Sundays are ruined. Like, he was like, it was the same thing with being at the game. He loved being at the game. He loved the experience, but like, I need to be at home where I can be with the 3 TVs.
I want what I want, and I want it. Now he's over here like J.G. Wentworth. It's my TV. I want it now.
Like Veruca Salt. I don't care how. I want it now.
He gave you my 3 TVs. You messing up with my normal swag on Sundays, Pops. I don't know about this. He said, how dare you take them away from me? Nah, that's funny as heck, man. But I love them. I mean, as you guys can tell, we love our children 100%. I know, Chris, you had a question we were talking about earlier. I'm intrigued, man. I want to hop into that. Well, what you got for us?
Well, we're sports guys, right? John Gruden, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
Right.
Wow. First and foremost, wow.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, surprised but not surprised, right? So let me ask you this: have you had a conversation with your kids about race at all, or about any of the issues or anything that is going on?
100%. Yes.
Okay, and what are those conversations like? I want to hear your side, and then I'm gonna tell you a story on my side, and we'll go for it. Like,
no problem. So I was,
and I want to stick this between being us as parents, and I want to stay away from politics, because this is about our kids, right? And
facts 100%.
Okay,
I know because I have something in complete mind what to discuss about, right?
Okay.
So obviously, we're ground zero for the ever so changing George Floyd and what happened with that, and the whole how the world was affected, in totality. But with that, I was down there at least the first, that first week after he passed on, because it was May 25th. After he passed on May 25th, that week, and after the riots and the burning of buildings, I was down at ground zero for about a week or two. And it was something that I felt a move in me to go do because I felt like my people needed me. Although I'm originally from Detroit, Minneapolis has really nothing to do with me. I even live in the suburbs, so it makes it very difficult to kind of say that I'm connected to what they're going through because I'm 100% not. But I also felt like I need to be down there because I spent 10 years in Minneapolis. George Floyd could have been me. Him and I have some of the same connections in the world, in Minneapolis like that, right? And I had to tell my daughter what happened to this man, why it happened to this man, and why I'm down there to help the people that don't have what we have anymore because of what happened to that man.
What? What? Again, I don't want to get in the politics of it.
No, and that's why I'm not moving anywhere near that. But what I'm
Okay,
saying
okay,
is,
because I don't okay, because I don't because there are people on both sides of the Floyd thing.
sure.
I don't
They can
right,
have their opinion and they can keep their opinion, and that's completely fine.
right.
But what I'm
I
saying is that at the end of the day, I had to explain to her about why it's important and why this affair is so big, right? So regardless of what someone's opinion is, it's fine, but we all know how big this situation became and why it became so big. So I had to, I feel in my discretion, explain to her why I'm helping and why I'm a part of what is happening in Minneapolis. And that led to our conversations about race. Because not only is it going to maybe come up in their books when they're in school about slavery and about this or that, we have books in our home about Dr. Martin Luther King, about Rosa Parks, about African American heritage through the eyes and through the literature of children, so they can have an understanding. But then they have to understand that their mom is white and I am black, and
right.
at some point in time, this was a no go. Like I've had that conversation with her, with Hazel, because she's the only one that can really kind of understand at this point. And we had to have that conversations. Like at some point, yeah, Hayes, mommy and daddy could not be together per law. Per and this
No,
is 60 years ago.
no, I don't laugh. Right.
But it is crazy that I have to like keep my children like that's their past. That's what they're black little girls at the end of the day too, right? Because they do have that very distinct look to them, right? So I have to have that conversation. We were able to walk through it. Thankfully, I have some really good friends and some really good individuals that gave us books that we were able to very much touch on that whole race scenario and how it looks for them. It's a little different for them because they are mixed, and it's a little different for them because they do have a very involved family that is white and a very involved family that is black as well. So yeah, we've had that conversation though.
Hey man, we're all mixed. What was
100%?
We're all mixed. I mean, I'm German and Italian and whatever. I don't even know why. So what was her response?
Her response was clearly she didn't understand it. Like, so she's like, why is it? Her response was, I don't know why you and mommy couldn't be together. That's just silly.
Right.
And that's what her and Katie, myself and Katie's response was as well. Like, tell me about it. You know what I mean?
For so many reasons.
Exactly.
For so many reasons, like one, y'all love each other, you want to be there. Cool. Two, if your neighbor doesn't like it, what the fuck does he care?
What does it have to do with
right,
you?
Right, exactly. And yeah, so there's so much. So okay.
But she was very. I'm sorry to cut, but she was very receptive, very receptive to to our dialogue, and we don't stop the dialogue. We don't stop it at all. We continue it with her because I want her to know that she's a beautiful, beautiful black little girl, and whether she is mixed and she could take however she chooses to down the road, the world is going to look at her as this, and that's what I want her to know.
That's crazy. I'm glad you said like the world, because I look at it like you're black, I'm white, or you're African American, I'm Caucasian. I don't give a what you want to call it, right? I look at it. I'm Chris, you're Jason, right?
That part. That's what I
but
accepted as.
but the world, there's a good portion of the world that doesn't see it that way, and I'm glad that you said that. So has Katie had discussions with her about it as well?
She has. So
And
it's always been a family
I know this,
discussion.
but I know. Okay, I don't want to get into. I know it's you and me, not her. I don't want to get into her, but well, the reason why I mean this whole thing's came up with Gruden this week, and it brought me back to discussion or topic last winter. It was breakfast time, and I was making breakfast for Sawyer before class, before school, and him and Lily were talking, and they were talking about bad words and words not to say. And Sawyer said, and I know another word too, and I'm doing the dishes too, and I said, well, what's the word? But tell me what word it is that we don't say. And Sawyer says, hear me out. Sawyer said he said it's the N word, and I go, what? Like I dropped. Like, what do you mean what? And he said and he was shocked. Like he was like he saw my reaction. He's like, I didn't mean it. Like you told me to say it. Like he didn't. By the way,
he just said the N word. He didn't say the N word.
He didn't say the word. He said the N word.
He's getting in trouble for saying literally the N word. Right.
And he was ghost white. And then I said, we don't say that word. We don't ever say that word. And he goes, but what is it? And I was like, we don't say it. It's a hateful, nasty word. We don't say it. And he goes, but what is the N word?
No, I need to know the N word.
I said, right. That's exactly. I said, we don't say it. And I was like, I'm not mad, but we don't say that word. It's nasty. But what is it? I said, we don't talk about that word because it's a nasty word. He goes, but Daddy, what is it? and I said, oh, you mean what's the actual word? He goes, yeah, I don't know what the word is. And then I tell me if I'm like, honestly, like, am I right or wrong here? I didn't have it in me to get into it with him then, because I was like, he's a 7-year-old boy. And, we live in a predominantly white area. I mean, we do have some diversity. But we don't teach our kids that, like, you like a person, I don't care. You like the person for who they are. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like, we moved out here because we got more space than the cities. It had nothing to do with the people around us. But so anyways, I told him, and maybe I failed at this. I said, sorry, that's a word that I don't want to get into right now. And I don't want you to hear it right now. And I don't want to talk to you about it right now, but just know that, I'm glad that you kind of talked to me about it, but I'm not ready for you to hear that now. But that is a hateful, awful word that we don't use. Now, I know that people use it in the rap culture and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
But like, so do you think, did I fail? Should I have explained it?
Man.
Should I have explained it, or is he too young for it? Because they learn about MLK, and they learn about, other things as well. And he's starting to read books about World War II and stuff. And I just, at the time, I was like, I couldn't go there. I wasn't prepped for it. And I don't know if that's ignorance on me, because, your girl comes home, one of your girls comes home and bring it up. You got to have that discussion, right?
That part. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And maybe because
I'm sure you are.
Right. It's my culture. I use it. You know what I mean? Like, but I use it in the term of endearment, which would years and years of whatever word you want to use, whether it's oppression or whatever, right? That's just a part of what I use with my guys, my dudes, my people. And in turn, I think you did the right thing. If you don't feel comfortable with the word, if you don't feel knowledgeable on the topic of it, don't talk about it. Let's get more education before you move down that road. Allow him to find out, because he's gonna find out regardless,
Right.
right? But it's not gonna help if you give him wrong information and then he goes off to school and then some kid's saying it and then he tries to correct that kid and then now we in, you know what I'm saying, we in trouble. We don't want
Right.
that. So information is power, 100%. I think we all really know that. And to anybody that is watching, listening, or hearing, please don't take offense to opinions
I,
that doesn't have anything to do, not necessarily with you, but it's not about you, right? These are things that we have to go through, and this is the platform that we choose to talk about and help understand each other's family, right? You do have the luxury of having someone close to you that you can have this kind of type of conversation with down the road, Chris, if you choose to. As you and I being brothers and men, I can walk through and help you with those kind of scenarios, because wherever, Sawyer or Lily go, they're gonna have of someone of diversity right next to them.
I mean, they got friends that are diverse, and really, if you break it down, like honestly, my father-in-law and his family, they are 100%. He is 100% Latvian, right? And
Mhm.
like his mom like survived the bombing of Dressing, right? So she came from a world that I don't understand, right?
There
And
you
my
go. Right, right.
my grandma was 100% Italian. My dad was adopted. Jackie's mom she's Italian, or sorry, she's um, Scottish and Irish, and so like our kids and we're a big
All
blend.
men, all right, all big blend for
It
sure, for
doesn't
sure.
show in our skin color, but like we
Right.
are, we are completely different, and so that, I mean, that's I always teach my kids, like I don't like there was one time actually I just thought of this with Sawyer was before kindergarten. What, I'm not going to say where it was, because in case someone connected to the person is listening, but we were on a walk and he said, Dad, how come he said, how come blank people, and I won't say whatever, he said, he said brown, he said, how come brown people are smelly? and
Mm.
I, and I said, he's okay. I said I'm going to say just for whatever. He was preschool. Now, how come brown people are smelly? We were on a walk, and I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, blank in my class, who was the only person in his class who was not white, and he said blank is he kind of smells a little bit. Now this kid was he was special needs, and I knew he was special needs. And so I told Sawyer, and I said, you know what, buddy? His skin color has nothing to do with his bad smell.
100%. Not
And
at
so,
all.
but I mean, these conversations are fun to have, right?
Mhm.
And
They're
then so
tough
I
and fun, man.
right, and I'm not saying like I'm like a super dad. I'm just saying like from my perspective, how I'm trying to teach my kids. And so I went through the whole thing. Like his skin color had nothing. It's just whatever. So, anyways, I brought that up because with John Gruden, I was wondering, like, did I mess up by not getting into it with him, because I know
No.
like
And I
good
think for anybody that's listening, and you don't know what John Gruden did or said, or his situation
wrote
for the right, or wrote, right, for the past 7 years, he wrote some very harsh and slanderous uh content about people from all walks of life, and and it caused a hissy. It caused a real big issue because some of the things that he said was straight down disgusting. So I think talking about race with your children is hard, but it's important. And knowing that we have to do it correct and not leave it to school and books is important. Because if we do leave it to school and books, they're going to look at, African Americans in a whole different light. Like, dang, what the hell? instead of letting them know that, you know, there was a civilization of black people that were empowered and did their thing and not just held down by slavery and all this other stuff, right? Before, you know, all of that, or even after, you know, and just keeping that perspective afloat and letting people, I don't know. I think we got to take it as it comes. I think if we start to, some families do, but if you start to feed them too much, you can feed them in one way or another, or one way or the other, you know. But let them have an equal balance, because they're gonna always have so many different people that they come across. That's what I got.
Sounds good. Sorry, we went a little. I went a
We dropping bombs over here, baby.
No pun intended. We went a little darker. No, I just
that's amazing.
No, I mean, I don't know. I want, you know, I know I've met many people, both sides, colors, creeds, race, religions, that I liked, and many that I hate, and I want to judge them on who they are. And I try and teach my kids that as well. And that the Gruden thing popped up, and Sawyer, that thing popped up in my head, and I wanted to be like, you know what? Maybe I should have had a discussion with him then. You know, I've answered questions he's asked about, like Martin Luther King Jr., what he did and stuff like that. But anyways, that was that.
Man.
You got anything else?
Nothing, man. We were a little bit past our mark, but that's cool. We put about an hour in. At this point, we can wrap it up. To everybody out there in podcast world, we 100% appreciate you. Continue to listen, continue to download, continue to share this with friends and family. We will be adding another day here soon. Once everything is really tightened up and buttoned up, we will be trying to improve this, man, and give you guys more of what our family and our minds and what we do to you. Not to you, but give to you. Something. Anywho, with that being said, continue to follow, like, subscribe. We need some subscribers, man. Subscribe over on YouTube. Hit the bell, hit the subscribe, and then that way you can know exactly when we pop up on your screen. And make sure that you follow us on Twitter and TikTok. Rad, bad, sad, all day, every day. Chris, you got anything before we get out of here?
Ooh, Jason, you said it all. If you smell what the rad bad stay-at-home dads are cooking.
Now, I need you guys to do me a favor. Continue to be your absolute best, because being empowered starts today. We live life, we love unconditionally, and we seek growth. When you do all three of those, you're in your alpha state. So stay primal and get after it. Last but not least, protect your peace and drink water. You heard? We out of here.
Paternity leave.